popular dance show American Party is currently under an investigation for fraud. It seems that the next American Party is not truly chosen by the people, but that the process is rigged. Haven't you ever wondered why it is that the same two parties always make it to the final round? By infiltrating the American Party headquarters, we have found that the third parties do not really have a chance. One piece of evidence we have found to support our conclusion is that the voting system used by the dance show counts a plurality of votes instead of proportional. What this means is that all the votes are tallied at the state level, and instead of percentage of votes carrying over from one state to the next, whoever had the most votes within that state receives all of the votes. In other words, the winner of each state takes all of the votes instead of those votes carrying from state to state. Another piece of evidence to support our point is that in many states, the names of those third parties do not even show up on the television. If the numbers aren't showing up on the screen, then how are people supposed to be able to vote for those parties? There is a complicated system in place where each party has to have at least 700,000 fans to make that number appear, so many parties never get their number aired. The role of the media is another way these parties do not get equal representation. Newspapers, television stations, and radio shows pick the top contestants who they believe are going to win, leaving most of the rest out of the loop. Once the media attaches itself to a party, it begins to filter out other parties that it believes is a waste of its time. This is true in polling as well. Without media coverage of these third parties, they fade into the background and out of the memory of the American public. As if these reasons were not enough, we have uncovered one last reason why third parties will not win this show. Both the Democratic and Republican parties have bought radio and television airtime, advertisements in newspapers, and even billboards on the freeway to promote their parties. Only a few third parties have ever generated enough revenue to make it to the big dance, and if you do not count the Republican Party, no third party has ever made it to the final dance. The Democratic Party has allowed us to ask it a few questions, as it was just recently crowned the new American Party. Do you think it's fair that third parties never get crowned the American Party?
Of course it's fair. If the American people wanted a third party to win, then they would make the third party win.
It has been a couple of years since your party has been in power. How are you able to get back your competitive edge?
You know, you've got to give the people what they want. In order to appeal to as many voters as possible, I carefully watch each contestant in the show and then incorporate what worked in their routine into mine.
So you steal their moves, then?
I wouldn't call it stealing as much as I would call it imitating. You know, popular dance moves that might have been great at the turn of the century would not win any contest these days, so I'm constantly changing my routine to keep up with the latest moves.
Okay, well, thank you for your time, Democratic Party.